So in the last video we talked about distance formula and how we could use that to classify triangles as either scalene, meaning no sides are congruent, isosceles, meaning two sides are congruent, or equilateral, meaning they're all the same. And we can also use that for perimeter. In this video we're going to be talking about how we can tell whether we have a right triangle or not. So this looks like it might be a right angle, but we need to be sure. Okay, so to do that we use the slope formula, which this basically comes out to rise. Difference in y values is just rise, and the difference in x values is what we call the run. So this is just rise over run, and you're used to that. So for each side of the triangle we can do that. So for instance, for this side, the difference in y values is 4 minus 0 over 3 minus negative 3. So that's just 4 over 3 minus negative 3 is 6. That's 4 over 6. And that does simplify down to 2 over 3. So I have a slope of 2 over 3. For this side, the rise, or the change in y, is 4 minus negative 1. And the run, or the change in x, is 3 minus 2. 5 minus negative 1, the two negatives become positive, so that's 4 plus 1 is 5, and 3 minus 2 is 1. So this is 5 over 1, or just 5. Finally, for this side, exact same thing. We're plugging in our y values, so I have negative 1 minus 0. I apologize for the noise, there's a plane going overhead. Negative 1 minus 0 on top, and then on bottom I have 2 minus negative 3. So on top this will give me a negative 1. On bottom I have 2 minus a negative, so again that becomes a positive. So 2 plus 3 is 5. Now the question is this a right triangle? So in order for it to be perpendicular, which is 90 degrees, or perpendicular, or a right triangle, the way we tell is if we have opposite reciprocals. Okay, so if I look at these two slopes, this one I've got negative 1/5, and this one I've got a positive 5, or positive 5 over 1. By opposite, I mean one positive, one negative. By reciprocals, I mean that if I have a slope of a over b for one, the other one should be flipped over and have b over a. So basically, if we put these together, we should have a over b and negative b over a. Doesn't matter what a and b are, just any numbers. If we look at these two numbers for our slope, we have negative 1 over 5 and positive 5 over 1. They have been flipped over. The 1 is on top here, bottom here. The 5 is on bottom, it's on top. This one's negative, this one's positive. So they are reciprocals and they are opposite. So this is a right angle right here. This is 90 degrees. This is a right triangle. It's important to realize, though, that both of these things have to be true. So negative 1/5 and positive 5 over 1, yes, that is a right angle. But if you have negative 1/5 and negative 5, that's like, let's say start here, negative 1/5 looks like that, and negative 5 means going down 5 and over 1 looks like that. That is not equal to 90 degrees. It's not a right angle. So just being reciprocals is not enough. They have to be opposite. One has to be positive, one has to be negative. Also, just being opposite also is not good enough. If you had 2/3 and -3/4. That looks like that has a slope of 2/3. -3/4 would be down 3/4. That is also not 90 degrees. So they have to both be true.